What do you got for me, John? 3 questions on a Wednesday morning.
What if increased election participation led to more victories for conservative candidates?
Well, then you would have a much happier listening base this morning. How about that?
Yep.
All right. I mean, participation across Johnson County, we don't have the final numbers, but what I've seen, it's going to settle around the 20% area, give or take. And, that means that there are tens of thousands of people who just decided, it's not worth my time. But next time something happens in their kid's classroom or something happens where they get their tax bill next year and they're wondering what the heck's going on in their municipality, they're going to wonder, geez, maybe I should have worried about those local elections back in 2023. And stop freaking out over who is going to be president in 24. Not that that's not important. Not that it doesn't matter. I'm readily admitting it does. But acting like one is more important than the other is just simply not true. I know it's not as sexy. I understand that. But, man, it matters just as much in terms of what's happening in your backyard, who's on your school board, who's on your city council, and not enough people seem to care about it, John.
Should look at it like games on the schedule. You can only play the games they schedule, but then you get to the Super Bowl, right?
I like that. I like that analogy.
Right?
That's
School
very
boards,
good.
Like the Chiefs playing the Broncos. Okay.
Yeah. But you got to win the game.
You got to win them.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how tough the competition is.
Because here's the other thing, to use that analogy, you got to win them not just because you then want to win the Super Bowl, but that's where you get people who become, your next, right? You start at school board, you go to city council, then maybe you run for a state house seat or a state senate seat, and then maybe one day you run for Congress. And, people have that path where they work their way through the system and they work their way up in politics. And if you keep losing at every level, then you have no bench, and then you're just filled with, losers who want to play politics but don't know how to win the game.
Yeah, Patrick's got to be the quarterback before he becomes the commissioner. So, right?
Gosh, I would take that over Goodell. Jeez.
Yeah. All right, well, sidebar there.
Yeah.
What if ballot questions and initiatives were just limited to one subject or one topic?
Well, they'd have a better chance of passing.
Mm-hmm.
My goodness, we just talked about it with our buddy David Stokes. I'm so glad this question 1 failed and failed miserably in Jackson County. When they talk about a local use tax for financing roads and bridges, and then in the middle of the 8-line question with no period, they note, well, we also got some money for the homeless people or persons at risk of becoming homeless. Well, man, the way Frank White's running the county, the whole county is at risk of becoming homeless. So it's like, dude, no. And credit to Jackson County taxpayers who said, you know what, you guys have hosed us at every turn, especially on these assessments. If you think that we are going to give you more of our tax dollars, take a hike and stick it where the sun don't shine. Now, of course, some folks who wanted to see this passed are very upset. Manny Abarca, who's on the Jackson County legislature, he tweeted this out last night. He said, well, it is clear that Eastern Jack has made its voice heard. Sadly, it's against its own interests. The use tax had less to do with Frank White and more to do with basic supports for communities. Nevertheless, it is incumbent on us all not to do. It is incumbent on us all not to do more education on the goals of the legislature separate from the executive. I'm not sure what exactly that means, but obviously he's upset.
Yeah, I didn't see Frank White's name in the question anywhere.
No.
I didn't use Frank White as any decision factor.
I think it was sticking it to the whole county.
Right.
The legislature, the executive, but it wasn't just about Frank White. It's about the entire county. So that's misrepresenting
what that. The principal?
Yeah, exactly. That's misrepresenting what that vote was really about last night in Jackson County. So good on you in Jackson County. Well done.
All right, then finally, what if the Chiefs are led to the Super Bowl by the defense this year?
Well, then Mark's going to have to change his parlays around. How about that?
Yeah.
All right. Mark's got all these parlays every week he's doing, and he's doing things like Mahomes passing yards and Pacheco rushing yards and Kelsey receiving yards. And, Mark, it's time for you to start basing your Chiefs parlays around the defense, all right? Let's go.
Woo!
How about that?
I do like that. Last week I tried to do that a little bit with the under on the Tua passing yards, but, not everything works out.
You got to change your parlays around, man. But I do want to give you credit, Mark. You didn't brag about this on the air this week, but I will for you. We always goof on Mark with his Friday Chiefs parlays, and I think he's 0 for 9 so far this season, right? 7-2. Chiefs have played 9 games. You're 0-9. And, these parlays are tough to hit. They're $5 to win, 500. Mark did hit himself a little KU Jayhawks parlay the other night. Season opener, baby. That's right.
That's right.
What'd you do?
I got 6 things right. I had a 64% boost, so it was $10 to win $230.
Woo, baby,
so not too bad for the opening night.
Just answer one thing for me, Mark.
I'm not worth your Red Lobster money.
Am I worth your Red Lobster money now?
Let's go.
All right. That's all I'm wondering. I just want to be worth your Red Lobster money, baby, because now you got more of that in your back pocket.
I got to see what the lines are looking like on Friday night for the next KU game, because I got to see if I can go back-to-back now.
Oh, now he's trying to go back-to-back on the big parlays. Boy, you're going to be having a blast at Red Lobster, baby. Oh, gosh. What's their staple, the bread or something like that? The muffins?
Crab cakes.
Oh, they have the cheesy biscuits.
That's what it is, the
that's
biscuits.
what they addict you with.
Yeah, all right. Well, I've never been to one, so I wouldn't know.
No.
But, this comes from the guy who's recommending filet of fish, so we'll have to wait and see.
Chiefs bye week, so maybe I have to do a KU one for Friday.
Yeah. You got to get your itch on somewhere, right? That's how it goes.